Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Founded in myth and carved from legend, we're counting down 10 of the most dreaded, powerful, and fearsome creatures of Greek mythology. Number 10. Medusa of the Gorgon sisters. In Greek mythology, a Gorgon referred to one of three sisters, Steno, Ephriali, and probably the most famous sister, Medusa. The name Gorgon derives from the ancient Greek gorgos, meaning dreadful. While descriptions of Gorgons vary across Greek literature, the term commonly refers to one of the three sisters, described as having hair made of venomous snakes, as well as a horrifying visage that turned those who beheld them to stone. In early myths, Medusa would become the only one of the three to not be immortal, meeting her demise at the hands of Perseus, who was armed with gifts of the gods, a scythe from Hermes, and a polished mirror shield from Athena, which he used to view his quarry without fear of her petrifying gaze. Upon her death, the blood from her neck gave birth to her two sons, Pegasus and Chrysaor. Her head would be given to Athena by Perseus, where she would adorn it to the mirrored shield, thus creating Aegis. Number 9. Lamia. Once a beautiful and loving queen of Libya, Lamia would eventually become a child-eating demon of legendary proportion. According to myth, Lamia was a mistress of Zeus, earning his famously jealous wife Hera's scorn. Hera decided to kill all of Lamia's children and transform Lamia herself into a monster that lures, hunts, and eats the children of others. The final part of Hera's punishment to Lamia was taking away her ability to close her eyes so that she may always obsess over her dead children's images. Later, taking pity for her misfortune and bereavement, Zeus would bestow upon her the gift of removing her eyes so she may be appeased in her grief over the loss of her children and finally allow her some rest. Number 8. Arachne. From Greco-Roman mythology, Arachne was a talented mortal woman who challenged Athena, the goddess of wisdom and crafts, to a tapestry weaving contest. Upon her winning, or losing, depending on what version is being told, she was cursed, transforming into a large spider with Arachne's torso attached to the top. The traditional telling is that of Ovid's as it appears in the Metamorphoses. To sum it up, Arachne was boisterous about her skill as a weaver, claiming she could even show the gods a thing or two. Athena overheard and took offense. The two would engage in a contest, Athena's tapestry showing 4 different times mortals had challenged the gods and were punished. Arachne showed them many ways the gods had misled and abused mortals, Zeus in particular, by tricking and seducing women. When Athena saw what Arachne had spun, she thought it not only insulted the gods, but was in fact more beautiful than Athena's own. Enraged, she shredded Arachne's tapestry and cursed her for wanting to be on par with a god. Number 7. Argus Panoptes. Argus Panoptes, the 100-eye primordial giant, guardian of the heifer nymph Lo, son of Orestor and servant of Hera, ever vigilant, ever watching, the all-seeing one, a fierce warrior who rested only a few eyes at a time so that he might always have wakeful alertness. His foremost and greatest service to the Olympian pantheon was slaying Echidna, the mother of monsters, in her cave as she slept. Hera's defining task for him was to guard the white heifer Lo from Zeus by keeping her chained to the sacred olive tree at the Argive Horion. In order to free Lo, Zeus would send Hermes to slay Argus, which he would do under disguise of a shepherd. Hermes would use spoken charms to put all of Argus's 100 eyes to sleep before killing him with a rock. To commemorate his faithful watchman, Hera would place his 100 eyes upon the peacock's tail to preserve him forever. Number 6. Minotaur is the half-man, half-bull monster, famous for its tales of Theseus and the Minotaur. The creature came to be after Minos prayed to Poseidon, the sea god, to send him a snow-white bull as a sign of support. This bull, otherwise known as the Cretan bull, was meant to be a sacrifice to show honor to the deity. But instead he decided to keep it and sacrifice one of his own. To punish Minos for his disrespect, Poseidon made Pasiphae, Minos' wife, fall deeply, madly in love with the Cretan bull. She would petition the craftsman Daedalus to design a hollow cow so she could climb in and mate with the bull. The offspring of the union was the monstrous Minotaur, nursed by his mother until he became too ferocious, and being that of an unnatural union of woman and the beast, it had no natural source of nourishment, so it turned to devouring human flesh. Minos would seek advice from the oracle at Delphi and would have Daedalus construct a massive labyrinth to contain the beast, keeping its location near the Minos Palace in Knossos. It was sometime after that Theseus would arrive into the story. He would gain the love of Minos' daughter, Ariadne, who would help him traverse the labyrinth and find his way back. Many accounts claim she had gifted him with a ball of yarn to mark his route. He would confront the monster near the center of the maze, where he'd use the sword of Aegis to slay it for good. Number 5. Harpy. Another Greco-Roman creature of myth, the harpy is always portrayed as a female monster in a bird-like form with a human face, known to steal food from the hands of their victims before they could get nourishment, as well as carry off those of great evil to face judgment from Erinyes. Hesiod goes on to call them lovely-haired creatures and depicted them as beautiful women with wings. The most famous tale involving the harpy is that of King Phineus of Thrace, who abused his gift of prophecy and betrayed Zeus by giving away the secret plan of the gods. Zeus would then punish him by blinding and banishing him to an island filled with food he could never eat before the harpies could get to it. Number 4. Chimera. The grotesque, monstrous, fire-breathing creature of Lycia is a hybrid fusion of multiple parts of more than one creature. Chimera is usually depicted as a lion with both a goat and lion head and a snake for a tail, and is child of Typhon and Echidna and brother of Cerberus and the Lernaean Hydra. Though genealogies differ, most versions state that Chimera mated with her brother, the two-headed dog Orthrus, and later birthed the famed Sphinx and Nemean lion of lore. A sighting of the Chimera was often considered to be an omen or foreshadow of storms, shipwrecks, and other natural disaster occurrences. She would come to meet her end, as most monsters in Greek mythology seem to do, by the hands of a hero, this time Bellerophon, with a little help from Pegasus. Number 3. Erinyes. The Erinyes, also known as the Furies, were female deities of vengeance, even called infernal goddesses. They are chthonic punishers of broken oaths that sprang forth when the Titan Kronos had castrated his father Uranus and cast his genitalia into the depths of the ocean. The Erinyes, as well as the Melee nymphs, emerged from the drops of blood as it fell onto Gaia, according to Hesiod's Theogony. The Erinyes lived in Erebus and are more ancient deities than any of the Olympian pantheon. They are tasked to hear the complaints of mortals against the insolent young against the elderly, and the switch, to punish these crimes by hounding culprits relentlessly to the verge of madness. The Erinyes vary in description, depending upon the author, described as having snakes for hair, dogs' heads, or bats' wings, with bloodshot eyes. Number 2. Cerberus. The Hound of Hades, or guardian of the underworld, monstrous multi-headed dog Cerberus, is set to guard the gates of the underworld to prevent the dead from leaving Hades. The son of Typhon and Echidna, and usually thought to have 3 heads, the standard serpent of a tail and snakes jutting out all over its body. Cerberus is most commonly known for the tale of its capture by Hercules, during his 12 labors. The large hound with fire in its eyes was dragged from the underworld against its will after Hercules wrestled it down. Some accounts go on to say that Hercules paraded the captured Cerberus through the streets of Greece. He then showed his captured quarry to Eurystheus, and, as commanded, he returned Cerberus to its rightful place in the underworld. Number 1. Typhon. Rounding off our list is the fiercest, strongest creature in Greek mythology, Typhon. The last son of Gaia, fathered by Tartarus, Typhon was, with his mate Echidna, the parents to a great deal of the famous monsters of Greek legends. Typhon is said to be terrible, outrageous, and lawless, with shoulders constructed of 100 snake heads that emitted fire and every kind of noise, according to Hesiod. He is portrayed as fell and cruel, and neither god nor man-like. Some poems describe Typhon as a 100-headed being, while others state he has only 50, though the former would become the standard. A winged humanoid from waist up, consisting of 2 snake tails below. Another fire-breather, this colossal creature was said to brush the stars with its head, with fire flashing from his eyes, said to surpass all the offspring of the earth in both size and strength. Typhon would challenge the gods to the rule of the cosmos, with all but Zeus backing down from the fight. In the end, Zeus would emerge the victor of the hard fight, but required 10 thunderbolts to Typhon's face before he could cast the mangled remains of Typhon beneath Tartarus, where he would be punished and imprisoned with the other Titans, including Kronos himself. What other creatures from Greek mythology do you love? Do you have an idea for a future Top 10 video? Let us know in the comments section below. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our website, top10archive.net. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your family and friends.